Alright, so today we have a 3,000 point team battle for you. We have an Eldar army and a Space Marine army taking on red Space Marines, that's the Blood Angels over there, as well as blue Space Marines over here, which is a cool as heck biker Space Marine army. So we got some pretty cool terrain. This objective mission, 5 objectives, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, back in a bit.
Fine.
Rounding up the top of turn 1 for the Eldar Space Marines. Everything kind of spread out a little bit, moved around. A lot of fire. A hail of fire came into these guys from vehicles, from Devastator squads. A bunch of them died, but a lot of them survived. Some shooting into these guys tried to hurt them, but they were impervious, so they didn't take anything. Otherwise, that's it. Just a slow turn. Alright, back in a bit. Alright, rounding up the bottom of turn 1 for the Space Marine and Blood Angel player. The whole army zoomed up. These guys actually went 24 over here, getting a cover save, getting really close to the action. These guys flew up and fired 3 plasma pistols in here, but luckily the armor held. These guys tried to fire multi-melta, but missed in here, and they just flew up and were out of range. They tried to shoot, but couldn't make it. The blue Space Marine player is waiting for the red Blood Angels to show up, which they will very, very soon, I imagine. Alright, so we're going to see how we respond here. Alright, back in a bit. Alright, mid-turn wrap-up on turn 2, just because there's an exciting combat about to start. A huge team of bikers is going to face a fully tricked-out team of Banshees. We're going to see what happens there. Pretty exciting stuff. Alright, back in a bit. iPhone is down. Okay, so finishing the top of turn 2, glorious combat over here. Killed pretty much the entire squad of guys, but the captain was a tough SOB and he survived. We lost 2 Banshees in the process because he's got a power weapon, so fortune didn't help us. And we are on to the bottom of turn 2 for the Space Marine and Blood Angel player. Alright, mid-turn wrap-up of the bottom of turn 2, because lots of excitement. Both of my transports are obliterated. This one just exploded over here. And the other one here exploded over here, but luckily the Fire Dragons, the Fortune kept them alive. And then we had some shooting against them as well, they stayed alive for that. The Vanguards flew in over here, and they managed to assault. These 3 squads, the boldest, bravest guys I've ever seen, they literally tried to deep strike in on the edge of the board next to all this stuff, and they all made it. The gods bless them, so they're in there as well. They're going to be ready to do nasty stuff next turn. And we got a couple of really nasty combats going on there. Some Vanguard guys that are allowed to assault after deep strike, and these guys over here are really going to try to mulch them. Yeah, I checked if they were in the sex. Okay, so back in a little bit with the exciting wrap-up. Alright, so rounding up the bottom of turn 2. Wow, disaster strikes our side. We lose combat badly over there, but luckily they held out, so that was a stroke of luck. Over here, the Banshees caused 2 wounds on him, but lost combat by 1, and the high leadership of the Farseer meant nothing as they failed and then rolled 11 to go all the way off the table. They needed 10 or they needed anything less than 11, and they rolled 11, so they went off the table. So that really sucked. But we're going to try to fight back now. There's Marines everywhere, Marines flying everywhere. We're going to have to fight them down. All right, back in a bit. Rounding up. Is it working? Yes,
right. You control 2 objectives.
Yeah, we're gonna try. Okay, so rounding up. That was turn 3. That was turn 3. Was that turn? That was turn 3. Yeah, that was top of turn 3. So we had some interesting action. Lots of firing from here. Everything killed a lot of these guys, but not quite enough. But a lot of them are dead. We killed 3 of these guys over here, so that was helpful. This guy still lives, so that's going to be very painful. Over here, a really brutal melee, exciting melee. Lots of dead on both sides. A tied combat after all that, but man, there was some excitement over there. And yeah, we're on to the bottom of turn 3. Back in a bit. Alright, mid-turn wrap-up for the bottom of turn 3, just because there's tons of action again. Over here, both of these vehicles got immobilized with their troop crew inside, so that's really going to hurt. They've just, look at this crazy swarm. There's bikes, assault marines, and like assault blood angels all swarming around this vehicle trying to crack it open. That's awesome. Yeah, over here, a squad tried to fly in. 2 of them died from dangerous terrain, but 1 guy charged in, but it looks like he got beat back. Is that right?
The scouts beat him.
Wow, so the Power Fist guy actually went down. So that was a stroke of luck there, but we're going to see where things go. There's going to be a combat over here, big combat over there. Alright, back in a second. Alright, not surprisingly, things went very badly for the Eldar. Over here, 3 wounds were caused, and it was enough that we failed our leadership. We didn't cause any wounds in return. And we got run down. Our high initiative didn't help us either. Over here, the vehicle, of course, got cracked open, and 2 guys died in the explosion, and they are surrounded by a swarm of dudes. That's not going to end well. It's looking very dire it's been looking dire for many turns, but it's particularly dire now. Alright, we're going to try to respond. Here we go, back in a bit. All right, so reporting the top of the completed top of turn 4. You know, we tried to fight back. These guys shot and charged in here. Killed one guy. It was a tied combat. They killed one Dire Avenger back. Over here, a big combat, big melee. One dead on the Blood Angel side, a couple dead on the Space Marine side, but otherwise held. We're trying to hold up here. We will see how things go. Okay, back in a bit. Rounding up the bottom of turn 4. What happened over here? Another Gong Show combat, but they managed to kill one of the Sanguinary Guard, but these guys killed another guy in return. Over here, there was a combat between a Power Fist Sergeant and a guy. They lost to the Assault Marines who jumped into the building there somewhere. Over here, Eldar actually won a combat. The Eldar won a combat. The Exarch killed the guy with his power weapon, and they didn't get any in return, but he survived there. And that was pretty... Oh yeah, over here, big combat. These two cool Space Blood Angel guys just pulverized their way through the 5 or 4 scouts that were there. So it's looking very dire now, but we're on to turn 5 now. Back in a bit. Alright, rounding up our top of turn 5. Not a lot of action, a lot of firing into here, but nothing died, not even the vehicle, not those guys. And over here, what happened in this combat? Nothing. Tied combat over here, no wounds caused, so it's that was it. Okay, back in a bit. Alright, we just finished the bottom of turn 5. The game will continue. These guys finally won a combat over here, so they consolidated out 1 inch. My guys actually finally beat that guy over there, so we consolidated in over here. Over there, those guys shot the vehicle, couldn't do anything. Charged in, blew away, literally glanced it sort of to death because they blew away all of its guns, and then eventually it just cracked open, gently letting those guys come out. Shooting over here, trying to help hurt the vehicle, but didn't work too well. Alright, so we're on to turn 6. We'll see what happens. Our turn coming up. Alright, rounding up our top of turn 6. Over here, combat, we lost by 1. He killed one of our guys. The Exarch couldn't connect, but otherwise we held. Here, we charged in, shot them, killed the guy in combat, lost by 1, but also held. So that's a tough fight over there. And these guys just ran out closer over here. There was some shooting from the Devastators. Killed 2 guys, and they actually flew away over there. And some shooting also helped shoot some of those guys. So we're putting on our best fight here, but it's tough. Alright, back in a bit. Alright, so the game, it's bottom of turn 6, the game has ended. Miraculously, we managed to pull out a tie. Over here, this guy was the hero Exarch. He chopped down the Vanguard, or whatever the Blood Angel guy was. Over here, though, we traded combats. I had some really lucky hits, and my Exarch killed 2 guys, including a Power Fist, but then the one guy there just chopped all 3 of them down with a power weapon. That was pretty awesome combat there. These guys are holding that objective, I'm holding this one, contesting this objective, both teams over here, and that's it. So, really good game, guys.
Yeah, good job.